Hey, what's up guys, this is gearmoauto. I'm doing front brakes on a 2012 Toyota Yaris. This is going to be used for a 2011 and a 2013 as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first thing you want to do is come over here and get this caliper bolt off. It's a 14mm top and bottom. Go ahead and get these off. I got my 14mm wrench. Go and get these off, top and bottom. Take these bolts out. Alright. I'm going to put these aside in a safe spot. Now you can wiggle this caliper off. You might need two hands, and then just gently place it over the steering knuckle like this to support the brake hose and just to keep it out the way, not falling on us or nothing like that. I just found that's the best spot, and you can slide these pads out. Okay, so these are aftermarket pads I'm pulling out, and I'm going to get these on the side here. See these shims on top? These are attached to the pad. They're aftermarket brand, and these little clips on the end, they must have came with the pad. These are not OEM. I'm gonna have to get some OEMs, but first let's get the caliper bracket off. It's these 17mm in the back right here. We'll go ahead and get these out. These will be a little bit tighter than the caliper bolts, but you can definitely get them out. So we'll get these out. Again, they're 17mm top and bottom. And when you take the last one out, the caliper bracket's going to want to fall, so you're going to want to have one hand on it and hold it. Okay. We'll go ahead and put this to the side. Now the rotor, it might be rusted on. Basically, there are these two holes that have threads in them. You could run a bolt in them to bust the rotor loose. If you are in a bind, you could use the caliper bracket bolt, but I recommend not. I think it's a different thread pitch, and it'll go down, but it might not be strong enough to push it off the hub. So what I do is I have my own little dedicated bolt, and see what happens with this one is the threads can get a little kinked up, so you don't want to use this if you don't have to. Also, you can hit the rotor with a rubber mallet from the back. See, it's kind of messed up in the front. So this is my dedicated bolt for this. It's a stronger steel. The threads don't get mixed up or beat up when I run it through these things. And you just run it down, it'll pop right off. And that's just a general bolt you could probably find in your garage or somewhere. Not like a specialty bolt at all. It's very common size thread. So you can get the rotor off and go take it to somewhere to get machined, or you can machine it yourself. You can clean a little bit of this rust off on the hub if you want. Okay, so I machined my rotor. Now the caliper bracket, take the pins out, clean them off with like a rag, and then lube them up and put them back in. The one with the black grommet goes on the bottom. So I'm gonna put this, I lubed them up already, I'm gonna put them back. Also, you can take a wire brush and clean the tracks so the pads can slide freely. I just kind of, just clean them up and get all the dust and grime out of there. Nothing too crazy. So I'm gonna put this back on, 17mm bolts. I will put torque specs on the end of the video for the caliper bracket bolt and the caliper bolts. So I know a lot of guys have been requesting torque specs, so got those tight. So when it comes to the pads, like I said, here's my aftermarket ones. I'm putting OEM on. Here's my OEM part number. I got OEM shims as well. I have a video on what's the deal with the shims. You can watch Toyota brake pad shims, but basically there's just shims that go on these pads for they help them not heat up, squeal, and like a couple other things. These little clips go on the top, and use that grease that comes with the shim pack to put it between these two shims. It holds it together, and it's also like a heat dispersant, absorbent, I'm not sure, but it gets the heat. It helps disperse the heat on top of these pads. So I'm gonna go and put these on. They go like this. There's a bottom and a top shim, and the clips go on top, and they prevent the pad from shifting when you're in reverse. Sometimes when you brake, the pad will shift, and these little springs that go on top are to prevent it from shifting. They act as like little shocks, and they absorb it so it doesn't make a clicking sound. You want to have those on there on the top right here. If you don't have them, it's okay. You can still install the pads. Just next time you do your brake job, just try to get them, because you will hear some shifting and stuff. So I got my pads in. As you can see, the little springs are on top. We'll go ahead and depress this piston in the caliper so it can fit over the new pads. I got my tool here. There's multiple ways you could do it. If you don't have a tool, you could Google or YouTube like multiple ways to depress a piston. There's a bunch of clever ways using like giant pliers and stuff. But yeah, so I got this pressed in, and now I could put it back on top of my pads just like this. When you put this back on, you might have to push the pins in a little bit to get it to line up correctly. And make sure your brake line isn't twisted or kinked. It's easy to do that, easy mistake to make. Just make sure, you know, it's not stressed or kinked or nothing like that, twisted. So go ahead and put your bolts back in. This nut on the other side might spin, so you might have to get some pliers on that nut and hold it while you're tightening down this bolt. Alright, so we got these tight. And again, torque specs will be at the end of the video. So I'm going to torque these off camera so I don't have to make a long video. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So just double check all your bolts and make sure your brake line's not twisted. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. With any additional information in the comments would be great. And thanks for watching.